This is a video review of the NetGuardian 240T RTU with T1 capability. I want to start by looking at a simple application diagram so you can really see what the NetGuardian 240T can do. As you'll see here, the most significant thing is that we're on a T1 WAN. This RTU is not directly connected to LAN. You can do that, but it's really built for environments where you just have a T1 available. You get your 40 discrete alarms, you get 8 analogs, you get 2 controls, and that's really your basic RTU functionality, but it's plugged into T1. And that becomes very interesting when you look on to the lower right, where you have 7 other LAN devices that you can connect to this and actually get LAN broken out from the T1. And that's significant because in a lot of cases, if you want to do that using a IP LAN card from your transport manufacturer, that might cost as much or more as this RTU, and it won't do any monitoring. It'll just do that LAN function. So really, you're in a place where you have a no-brainer decision if that's what you're up against. Over on the left, you'll see some D-wire sensors coming out of the D-wire port. D-wire is a newer technology from DPS where you're using a single wire to both collect data from and power your sensors. So that's a great way to add temperature sensors, humidity sensors, really common environmental sensors that you might need out at a remote location. Let's take a look at the front panel of this NetGuardian. Starting from the left side, there's a craft port for initial unit configuration, and then there are a variety of LEDs. There's config and alarm status. You have D-wire, also LEDs to show you the status of LAN and T1 connections, and also 5 LEDs for the serial port, so you can connect to legacy gear. There are also some buttons and a screen on the front panel. You can view status and adjust settings, and there's an audible speaker, so you can get audible alerts at the site. Now we'll flip around to the back panel of this NetGuardian. Starting on the left again, there's a grounding lug. There are dual power inputs, and to go along with them, dual fuses. There's a D-wire port where you can connect a string of sensors and an onboard temperature sensor. And these two amphenols take in all the discrete inputs, all the analog inputs, and all of the control relay outputs. And here is the 10100 network switch and the T1 port down at the bottom. And there's also an RS-232 serial port. Now let's look at the web interface. I got here by typing the IP address of the NetGuardian into my web browser, and I'll log in using my password. And I'm in. So I'll start by going to Edit because I want to change some T1 settings. So I'll select T1 WAN from the menu that opened on the left side. And here are some T1 settings. So you'll want to configure these to match whatever T1 you have set up out at your remote site. And when you're done with your configuration, click Submit. And the data will save to flash memory. Now I'll click Base Alarms on the left menu so I can set up a few alarm points. I'll start by giving a description here for point 1. I'll call it main door. Then off to the right, for each alarm point, you can define notification options. So if you want to send out an email or send an SNMP trap to your SNMP manager, you'd set that up here. But I'll define a few alarm points, give them a few different descriptions, just common likely things that you might want an RTU to monitor. I'll enter my last one here. And then when I'm finished, I simply scroll down, and it's 40 alarm points in the list, so it takes a little while, but then I'll click Submit. And I get another pop-up to tell me that the data has been saved. Now I'll click Monitor at the top because I want to see what's going on with these 4 alarm points that I've set up. So I'll click Base Alarms in the Monitor menu. And now this screen pops up. And here this is telling me that the main door and the motion sensor are in an alarm state. So this might be a security intrusion. Maybe someone broke in to steal copper. And this would be a case where I might want to dispatch a security team. Next, I want to look at some D-wire sensor readings. So I'll go back to the main monitor menu and click D-wire sensors. And what's going to pop up is a gauge, and this is a nice visual way to monitor, but right out of the box there's going to be a problem with the configuration. And that's that the high and low ranges, the red and blue areas, they're just not set up properly for a server room, say, that I'm monitoring in this case. So to fix that, I'm going to go over to Edit and then D-wire sensors. And you can see here there are 4 values. These are my minor and major over and under values. So I'm going to set these up to something like 80 degrees for a minor. And I'm certainly not going to go negative here. So I'll set some under alarms that are a little more plausible for a server room environment. And then I'm going to hit Submit. The page will reload quickly. And then I'll get that same alert message to tell me that the data has been saved to the NetGuardian. Then I'll go back to monitor, and now things are going to look quite a bit better. So I'll click on D-wire sensors again. And here the gauge is going to come back up, but look, now the green zone is much smaller because the alarm areas have been made into more likely values. So you can see I'm right at the edge of the green. If I go up to 80 degrees, just a fraction of a degree more, I'm going to hit the yellow zone and I'm going to get a minor over alarm. 5 minutes just really isn't enough time to show you everything about the 240T, but I hope this overview was useful for you. If you have any additional questions, please give DPS a quick call at 1-800-693-0351 or send us a quick email at sales@dpstele.com.